Alright, so I'm going to be demoing an MTSim chair setup for a HOTAS. And I'm going to be doing this live, and so I'm kind of doing a voiceover here, so it might not be perfectly timed with the video, but I'm going to do my best. The aluminum panel that's on the screen right now that's connected to the chair is the MTSim mount. It mounts to the armrest of the chair, so it uses the armrest bolt holes that are built into the chair, and those standoffs come with the kit, and it comes with its own hardware. So that mounts the aluminum panel, which then the extruded aluminum bolts to. And that extruded aluminum right there that I'm showing in the box is where the HOTAS will eventually mount. Comes with a bunch of hardware. And then this is the longer vertical extruded aluminum piece. Very nice to have. And it's, I don't know, 9-12 inches high. And the joystick mounts to the front of this, and I'll show that in a second. And then it does have those holes at the bottom that are threaded for, again, and I'll show that in a second in a different part of the video. I also added into my purchase the kit that allows it to swivel out of the field of view, and I'll show how that works in a second. But it comes with this pretty nifty little thrust bearing. So it has an upper and a lower race, and then the ball bearings in the center. And then it comes with two of those, so those get sandwiched between the aluminum and the extruded aluminum, so the aluminum plate and the extruded aluminum. So I'm showing this in the image over here on the TV screen or on the monitor. So there's going to be an axial bearing below and above that aluminum plate, which allows it to swivel. And the swivel action on the arm is really smooth, as long as you've got the cables out of the way, which I'll show in a second. So that's how it's supposed to be connected. It comes with this little plastic piece that feeds up into the bottom of the extruded aluminum, and then it's got a bearing holder that helps keep everything centered while you're trying to get everything tightened up. And so doing this one-handed while I'm doing it on my armrest of my chair was kind of fun, but the bearing pieces just sit together like that, nice and neat, and then the screw comes up through the center there that goes into the extruded aluminum. And then the other screw hole is to keep it locked in place. So it'll pivot around that screw that's showing there in the... I actually have this backwards. I'm going to have to flip it around. But it'll pivot through... Yeah, there we go. Slides in place. I guess I didn't have it backwards. I had it right. And then the thumb screw comes up from the bottom and then locks it in place, and then that handle, the T-handle screw there, is how you lock and unlock it, which is pretty easy to do. And then as you screw it tight, the plastic piece does press fit into the bottom of the extruded aluminum channel, which is kind of nice. And so you can see, like, as I'm spinning it, it does move nice and smoothly. I'm just trying to show that it gets nice and tight. And then once it's screwed in place, that is a very stiff mount, even though it is jutting out from the chair by, 6 or 7 inches or so. The joystick itself, when it finally gets all put together, is really firmly mounted in place, which is what you'd want. And so yeah, there you can see it rotates on those bearings really smoothly, which makes it easy to move in and out of use. If you're trying to type at your desk, but the joysticks are in the way, you can just unlock it and spin them out of view. I had a hard time visualizing how this whole system works, which is why I'm making the video in the first place. So this is the other side. I just have it all put together, and I'm showing inside there. You can kind of see the top of the screw for the thrust bearing. And then I'm showing that the T-handle is adjustable, so even when you have it tightened, you can spin that out of the way, which is nice to keep your legs and everything free. So now I have the joystick actually mounted to the top, and I got one on the left and the right side, and then it's the same on both. It's got the aluminum plate with those aluminum spacers to set it off from the distance. And then that's it folded out of the way. So I'm going to try and show what it looks like when it spins forward. And then this video, this perspective is just the chair's tilted over. So I'm trying to show how I'm thinking about doing some cable management. I did get a 4-port dock to plug the peripherals into, so I only have to connect and disconnect one cable, and then I just use some double-sided Velcro tape to stick it to the bottom of the chair. That's actually held up really well. I've had this installed for a little over a week now, and it hasn't had any issues unplugging and plugging back in. Something I do have to add is some kind of cable management, which I think I'm just going to 3D print something to go in the extruded aluminum channel. And this is just a still image of the cable leading to my computer. So when I want to plug in, I just reach underneath and grab that dongle and plug it straight in. So this is it all set up with the wires and everything in place. And you can see as I'm spinning it, the wires getting caught, which is irritating. And so I'll have to do some work to figure out how to better mount the wires. And I hate wires in general, so if I can see them, they irritate me. And then on the left-hand side, this is a bit ridiculous. That front panel that has the autopilot switches and dials, I'm going to remove that and mount it a different way. Possibly just leave it on my desk because it's just too long. But just for demonstrations purposes, it could be set up this way, which is kind of nice. And then the little guy that's jutting out from the left-hand side there, I'm going to leave in place. I like having that nice and close to my joystick. But yeah, once it's all set up and mounted, it is a nice firm mount, and it feels good. It is in the perfect position for my arms, so my arms are bent at the right angles when I'm sitting in the chair. There you can see the dock, all the cables are plugged into it. And then I did wrap that cable coming out of the computer around the leg of my desk, so if I did accidentally pull on it, it wouldn't break. But once it's all said and done, it works really well. Thanks for watching.